Though food waste has always been a problem in the United States and throughout the world, massive disruptions in the food system caused by the COVID-19 pandemic are producing greater amounts of food waste than before. We created Foodwise in order to empower families to reduce food waste in their households. As the food crisis has become increasingly prominent, we have improved our app with Sublime Text Editor by adding new features to make it more accessible and personalized to the individual needs of each user.
Food waste is a major issue both globally and in the United States. America wastes roughly 40% of its food, and this value amounts to about 125 to 160 billion tons of food each year. Close to $220 billion are spent in growing, transporting, and processing food that ultimately is wasted each year. We help the user keep track of the food they have bought so they can minimize their food waste.
To calculate the projected food waste, a variety of sliders are used to provide the quiz with caloric inputs. This is where the quiz has a few limitations, as we do not have every food option typical in meals. That is why we have other categories for things like dairy and grain. But because of this generalization, the user's data is not as specific, and the projected food is less accurate depending on how reliant the user is upon the other categories to fulfill the inputs. From the inputs, the total calories consumed is calculated for the user. Using data from a study from the University of Vermont, the waste in calories is calculated and is compared to the waste of an average American throughout the day in a bar graph. To help people reduce their food waste, we created a set of customized recommendations to reduce waste. This comes in the form of a customized feedback quiz, where you answer according to your position and what you know about food waste as a whole. So once you go through this app, you're going to be seeing different answers, and those answers are going to help you reduce your food waste. You're going to enter in your name or email if you want to subscribe to our newsletter and get emailed the results of your quiz. If not, you can continue on. You get these ordered list of 1 through 5 recommendations on how to reduce food waste. Your number one answer on how to reduce food waste is customized to overall you tend to overbuy, and that leads to food waste. So you need to track how much food you bought and used. This can come through creating a list and planning ahead, or it can come through just tracking how much you're going to buy for a group as a whole. Depending on the answers given, the answer page function will follow different branching logic to give user feedback. That concludes our web app, Foodwise.